Your body was never designed to keep you alive past 35. Everything that starts falling apart after that age is not a malfunction. It is not neglect. It is not the slow failure of a bad design. It is the plan. But the real answer is far stranger. The forces that built every muscle and every sharp reflex in your body decided you were expendable. Not at 80, not at 60, at 35. Evolution did not build you to last. It built you to reproduce. And the moment that job was secured, your biology began a slow, deliberate withdrawal. The question is not why your body breaks down, but why it held together as long as it did. Stay with us, because the answer changes what you think your body actually is. In 1952, a British biologist named Peter Medawar asked a question no one had answered. Why does aging exist? Natural selection is ruthless. It removes anything that reduces survival. So why does it allow a body to collapse? His answer was precise and deeply unsettling. Natural selection goes blind after reproduction. Genes that destroy you at 60 carry no evolutionary penalty, because by 60, your ancestors had already passed those genes on. The damage arrives after the selection window closes. It cannot be seen. It cannot be removed. It accumulates, and then it fires. A decade later, an American biologist named George Williams pushed the idea further. He called it antagonistic pleiotropy. The same gene that makes you strong and fertile at 20 may be the gene that gives you cancer at 50. Evolution kept it because the early reward outweighed the late cost. Your body is full of these trades. Testosterone builds muscle and drives reproduction early, then accelerates tissue damage for decades. Calcium hardens young bones, then clogs aging arteries. Every system optimized for your 20s carries a deferred bill. That bill does not negotiate. At 35, researchers have measured a clear biological shift. Muscle recovery slows. DNA repair becomes less accurate. Immune cells become less precise. Your body is still running, but the maintenance contract is changing. This is not disease. This is design. And it gets stranger the deeper you go. Consider what your ancestors actually faced. For roughly 200,000 years, your species lived as hunter-gatherers. The average lifespan in that environment, counting infant death, injury, and infection, hovered somewhere between 30 and 35 years. Not because people could not survive longer, some did, but long survival was statistically rare. Rare enough that natural selection had almost nothing to work with past the mid-30s. If almost no one reached 60, genes that caused problems at 60 were invisible to evolution. They passed on forever. No one paid the bill in time for selection to notice. This is the trap your body is in. It was built for a world that no longer exists. In that world, a 35-year-old body was not old. It was a body at peak output, carrying peak reproductive weight. Strength was its primary investment. Immune response was its most expensive tool. And inflammation was one of evolution's most powerful short-term weapons. It fights infection, heals wounds fast, and sends pain signals before a wound becomes fatal. In a world where a cut could kill you within days, a fast inflammatory response was worth any long-term cost. Your ancestors never saw that cost. They rarely lived long enough, but you do. Chronic inflammation is now one of the leading drivers of heart disease, cancer, and brain deterioration. It is the same mechanism that once saved your ancestors from infected wounds. Your immune system is still fighting a war that ended 10,000 years ago, and it is fighting it inside you. Every day. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, and type 2 diabetes all begin their invisible buildup in your 30s. They are not diseases of old age, but of the post-reproductive window. And that distinction is not semantic. It is mechanical. Researchers studying people who live past 100 have found something unexpected. These long-lived individuals do not appear to have stronger immune systems. They appear to have more controlled ones, less aggressive, more efficient. Their bodies respond to threats and then stand down. The bodies that last longest are not the ones that fight hardest. They are the ones that learned, somewhere in their genetics, to turn the fire down. Most bodies never receive that instruction. And that is the moment, right now, where the story takes a turn you did not expect. That turn has a name. Cellular senescence. When a cell reaches its replication limit, it does not die. That limit falls at roughly 50 to 70 divisions. Leonard Hayflick measured it in the 1960s. The cell stops dividing, and then it does something no one predicted. It stays. It lingers inside the tissue, releasing a slow chemical signal that inflames the cells around it. Researchers call these zombie cells. They no longer function, but they will not leave, and they quietly damage everything nearby. Hayflick's discovery was rejected when he first published it. The scientific community refused to accept it for over a decade. What he had measured was something hidden inside every cell in your body, not a malfunction, but a built-in countdown, not to death, but to obsolescence. The cell hits its limit and parks itself permanently. Your body cannot clear these cells fast enough, so they accumulate. By your 50s, senescent cells have built up in your joints, your arteries, and your brain tissue. They are not the sole cause of aging, but they are the clearest sign that the withdrawal was structural, that it was not an accident. It was written into the design before you were born. Now loop back to the opening. Your body was never designed to keep you alive past 35. Look at that sentence again. It does not mean you were built to die young. It means no force, no pressure, no selection process ever had reason to invest in keeping you going past that point. Longevity past reproduction was never on the brief. Not selected for, not selected against, simply invisible. Your body is not failing you. It is running exactly to specification. The specification just did not include you. But here is something evolution could not have planned for. You live in a world with doctors, researchers, laboratories, and 2,000 years of accumulated knowledge about the human body. Your ancestors had none of that, and that gap changes the equation entirely. So what do you do with that information? The answer starts with a shift in how you read your own body. The aches that appear after your mid-30s are not signs of failure. They are not damage. They are deferred invoices from decisions evolution made without your consent and without your knowledge. Understanding that is not defeatist. It is clarifying because precision is now possible in ways it has never been before. Researchers are working on compounds that selectively clear zombie cells. Others are developing protocols to restore mitochondrial function. Others focus on reducing chronic inflammation at the source. None of them are trying to cheat death. They are trying to extend the warranty on a body that was never built with one. What is already known matters now. Chronic stress accelerates the same inflammation your immune system was already overproducing. Sleep deprivation impairs the exact repair mechanisms that were already slowing in your 30s. A sedentary body past 40 loses muscle tissue at nearly twice the rate of an active one. These are not small margins. They are the difference between running on the original design and actively compensating for it. Your ancestors did not have the option to compensate. Their bodies ran hot and bright for 3 decades. Then, usually, something external ended the story before the internal ever did. You are the first version of this species to routinely outlive your own specifications. And the fact that you are still here, past the age evolution planned for, means you are already operating outside the blueprint. If this changes how you see your own body, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your body was designed to die at 35. The question is, what you do with 35 more.